Hey everyone, this is Kaisafon. Welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about the Minecraft endgame. So once you defeat the Ender Dragon, there are still tons of things that you can do. Today we're going to be counting down some very interesting redstone contraptions that can really help your game using some of the endgame resources and just motivate you to keep playing. So the first thing are Shulker Boxes. Shulker Boxes can now be farmed, and yeah, that makes it really useful and gives you the chance to construct all kinds of contraptions for slightly more advanced storage. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is the automatic shulker box filler. Basically, once you go mining, you can chuck in your items and your shulker boxes into the system. Just plug in a item sorter to this. Your blocks slowly get funneled through and get filled up in the shulker boxes and get automatically put into this final chest. Yeah, it's really satisfying for mining systems. And yeah. Alright, so the next one is a fully automatic shulker box sorting system. This is something that I've done. There's a tutorial on my channel, so go ahead and check that out. Basically, we've got shulker boxes here with every single sort filled up, and basically you put in the items that you want to get sorted into that chest, and basically it tries to put in items into the shulker boxes, which will be dispensed out in front of the hopper. If it fails, it gets recycled back and tries out with the next shulker box. After everything is done, your shulker boxes and your entire storage ends up in the chest. Next up, we've got an ender chest planner. Now, ender chests are really useful, and you can fill shulker boxes in them. Over here, I've got shulker box filled with all kinds of plants. I must say this is an ether design, and basically, in case I wanted to just refuel this, this is a really simple way of doing it. Basically, we've got hoppers here, and as you can see, every single slot in the hopper is filled with a unique item which belongs in the shulker box, and each of the chests have the corresponding storage. So all I've got to do is just place the shulker box in that slot, and as you can see, the items start flowing in, and in case there were any incomplete stacks, it would just automatically fill it up. Alright, so next up on the list, we're going to be looking at teleportation or transport systems. First up, Ender Porters. Ender Porters are amazing. They are super fun to use, and yeah, basically all this is a soul sand block, and then we've got 6 water sources above it. We can just stand over here, look down, and throw the ender pearl. The ender pearl will then stay in stasis until the trapdoor closes down and the ender pearl basically collides with it. Over here we've got an extended piston. The piston has a redstone block attached to the end. Once you press the button, the redstone block retracts and causes the trapdoor to activate, setting off the dispenser as well. Now, obviously, the dropper requires ender pearls to be filled in, which is why you need access to the end for a really efficient ender pearl farm. This can teleport you about 100 blocks almost instantly. I have made a video on how to send long distance. I'm trying not to plug, but I mean, I happen to have made the videos on these, so I think it's safe to plug it in here. So yeah, this is the Ender Porter. It's really cool and really fun. Alright, so next up, the problem is the Ender Porters are sort of limited by render distance. Next up, we're going to be looking at some easy transportation systems which avoid that. So for this one, you're going to need some splash potion of swiftness, or from a haze beacon, and some boosts with some soul speed and depth strider. Now the reason we need the soul speed is so that we use soul soil here. Basically we get that extra speed effect, and we've also got water, so the depth strider helps us. We've got a dolphin over here which is in a water block with the soul soil below it, which allows it to breathe, and basically once we start swimming, the dolphin gives us dolphin's grace. And on top of that, we can use some speed 2 potions, which gives us a monstrous speed boost. This is exceedingly fast and can also travel for much longer distances compared to an ender porter. Now, why is this an endgame thing? Well, first up, the number of blocks. It's mainly just the number of blocks. You've also got to trap a dolphin, which animal rights. So you need soul soil, which means taking on the soul sand valley, and tons of blocks to just decorate the entire area. And also you need boots and the potions. Next up, we're going to be looking at flying machines. Now, flying machines, I do them a lot on this channel, so I guess you should get used to it. But yeah, basically you can have flying machines in various parts of your world. We've got walls to make sure that the minecart sticks in. honey to make sure that the minecart sticks to it. As you can see, I can just get onto this and go AFK and absolutely nothing will happen. It can go over to the next stop and it can just stop there. You obviously need to figure out a way to stop your flying machines, and you can have a whole network of these, and these are really fun because it gives you the chance to build towers, which really just adds to the aesthetic. Another aesthetically pleasing mode of transport is minecarts. Minecarts have been in the game forever, I think, and these are really fun to play with. Obviously, because it gives you the chance to create a long railroad track, practice building skills, and honestly, it's once again a really fun thing. It's not really slow. The problem is the number of powered rails and the number of rails, which is why I classify this as more of an endgame thing. And also, you do need a really large area if you want to build minecarts which are fun to use. Next up, we're going to go back to another old method of transport, the Iceberg Road. These things are really fun to use, really fun to build, and very easy to lose control on. But yeah, once again, what makes this an endgame thing? The sheer number of resources required. You can also construct this in the end. I have, once again, you've guessed it, I have made a video on that, so go ahead and check that out, on how you can automatically build iceberg roads in the end. Yeah, this is also useful for nether travel, unlike the water-based ones. Alright, next up we've got item refuelers. Now, this is something that I feel gets overlooked, but basically you can just flick a button and you get restocked with food or rockets or ender pearls. Basically, it's just a pulse extender with an observer clock attached to the end. You just need enough resources to keep your droppers filled up. The advantage with this is that it's really small and you can build all kinds of things around it. You can just stash it away in a corner of your base, and it adds to the aesthetic once again, and it just makes it really interesting because you don't have to go through chests to find your food anymore. Next up, we've got armor equippers. This is a slightly more advanced one. So as you can see, we've got this wall of buttons. Basically, it allows us to select which kind of armor we want. Over here, I've got enchanted armor in each of the droppers behind it. And so we've got blast protection, fire protection, projectile, and normal protection, along with the corresponding piece of armor. Because I wanted a wide selection, I can just select it. You can also use any kind of other armor swappers. These are really fun and satisfying. Over here, we've got a dispenser, observer clock powered by the pressure plate. As you can see, I just step on this and I get equipped with a decent amount of food and full armor. And yeah, you can color it if it's leather. It's really fun to use these because there's not much going through of chests, which really enhances your gameplay. Alright, so next up, this is one of my personal favorite, is secret entrances. Now, over here, as you can see, I've got an oak or a wood-based theme. We've got oak wood and dark oak, and yeah, it's pretty obvious that there's something behind this. As you can see, if I flick this lever, it transitions into this bluish area. Now, the reason why I've used different colors is just to show the importance of having secret entrance. It really allows you to blend between build styles. Over here, as you can see, I've got these anvils and glass panes so that it looks connected. You could obviously change the sizes. There are tons of these piston doors are the best. Over here, I've used a two-faced piston so that each side has got a different build palette. You can also use a bit of redstone to try and ensure slightly less ugly activation. So basically, the redstone for this is really simple. It's basically we've got double piston extenders, as you can see, 2-tick repeater, 4-tick repeater, and a no-tick. And back here we've got sticky pistons. Basically, they all just get powered. This is simple double piston extender. If you see it when it's retracted, you can see where the pistons go. And yeah, this is, as I said, this is a really simple build. And once again, yeah, so here's what happens. You've got 3 slime blocks and 3 honey blocks basically alternating with the blocks of the wall themselves attached to the front. The reason we've got anvils is because they cover up enough but don't stick to the slime blocks themselves. Alright, another secret entrance, as you can see, perfectly inconspicuous floor, inconspicuous node block, inconspicuous white block. And yeah, if I just set off the node block, you can see it goes down to the lower level, and I can have all kinds of things over here. I just copied the same build palette, but you can have vaults, underground caves, the whole shebang. It looks amazing. And yeah, as you can see, it's perfectly flush. Basically what we're having here, no block detected by the observer, chained across into the node block over here. And as you can see, it's just a flying machine with some node blocks attached. Oops, wrong thing to power. Let's just quickly fix this back. Yeah, and on the lower end, we've got another node block which is going down here. And yeah, once again, as I said, it's a basic flying machine. The reason we've got these extra node blocks here is, first up, for it to look nice and be flush. Second up, the node blocks actually lock on to the blocks on the edge, which pushes it up till the bailment, meaning you don't need an immovable block over there. So down here we've got this redstone block which gets retracted, updating the observer. And as you can see, the node blocks up here are basically hooking on to the edges of the prismarine, and that pushes up the push limit. Otherwise, the flying machine will go right through the floor. And yeah, once again, just showing where the partings are going on. These are really, really fun, as I said, because you can have all kinds of stuff on either side. You can have your main base here, you can have a secret lair, enchanting, vaults, all kinds of stuff down here below. And it looks perfectly fine. So anyways guys, thanks for watching. This means guys, if I'm out, so ciao for now. I shall see you in the next video.